Cruising to Rome? Well, many cruisers and first time cruisers don't realize that Rome just isn't exactly on the coast and easy to get to. They don't realize that Civitavecchia is an hour away from the internal city, and that's okay because you can get there on your own. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to do it stress free, save yourself money, and have a great time during your brief stop over in a beautiful city with rich history and so much to do. If you're new to the channel, me and my husband, first mate, we've been cruising over 20 years. We've been to over 100 ports, and we've almost always done it on our own. And we found it was a stress-free way for us to do it. We saved time, and we had a great experience. And we're happy to share that with you. So welcome, grab your cannoli and a gorgeous glass of Italian wine, and let's get started. So you never see this on a cruise brochure, do you? How far away the ports are from the actual city. So to give you a geographic standpoint, this is how far Civitavecchia is away from Rome. So it's 74 kilometers and 64 miles. It is doable by a train. You can, of course, take the ship's excursion, but they're probably going to charge you a lot of money and it's going to be very slow. And that's why we usually like to do things ourselves. Some port basics. If you've never been to Italy before and this is your first time, well, buongiorno, you're going to have a fantastic time. But to let you know some of the basics, the money they use is euros. And, they're on the euro as a part of the European Union. The language is Italian. Now, that's a duh, right? Of course, it's Italian. But the things that are different about Southern Europe versus kind of Northern Europe, like the Scandinavian countries, people are not going to speak English as much. Even in the tourist districts, they may not speak as much English as you're used to. So, but that's okay if people are so warm and friendly in Italy. You're going to be able to be just fine. And if you use your phone to help you translate, that's even going to help you a little bit more. What I find kind of challenging about the language is that, in my mind, I want to say St. Peter's Square, but it's not St. Peter's in Italian, it's Salo Pietro. So there's going to be a lot more vowels thrown around, and it's wonderful when you're there, but our American ears or our English ears, how we say words and what we call the Colosseum, all those fun things are going to have about 1,000 more vowels on them, and just be ready for that. Whether it can be extremely hot. I've been in the summer. Oh my gosh, thought I was going to die. Lots of water needed during that time. But I've also been when it's cold. So you're going to see some of the pictures later on when we've been before. We've been to Rome 4 times, 3 times on a port day, and 1 time we were departing from Rome. And you're going to see where we were in there in Easter, and it was much colder. So we're kind of bundled up. So be ready for anything. Make sure you check before you go. You can just do some Googling about what the common weather is. So you're ready. Be ready for rain at all times. You never know. And then attraction tickets. So Rome is a very popular city. Obviously, that's why you're going there, is because there's so much to see. With that being said, it can be very crowded and attractions can get sold out. So before you go, we're gonna give you some tips. I'm gonna give you some ideas of how to plan your day so that when you can start buying your tickets early. Also, be cautious when you're Googling that you're not looking at a tour operator's version of the excursion, that you're actually at the official website. And we're going to do a second video about all of that, but that's just to kind of give you some basics. Immigration, right now, it is just simply there is no extra immigration for the EU, but they are looking to do a electronic system very much like the UK has in place now. So again, this is going to be like when you are getting ready to go, check with the State Department and see if the electronic system is up and running just yet. So you're already ready when you get there. So this gives you a timeline how we always plan our day in a port. And you can see it's all right here. So it starts with the ship docking. Now, we've heard that Rome, when we've looked into it, Rome has a new cruise terminal because it is a commercial port. Like many places, they're not dedicated cruise terminals. So you may need a shuttle from the ship to the end of the port entry. We remember that the times we've been there, we just walked off the ship off to the port. So that's going to affect how much time you have. Then you're going to have to get from the port to the train. And then from the train, you're going to have to take that to actually Rome. And at Rome, you're going to start, doing all your touring. That's hopefully where you're going to spend most of your time. And then you're going to have to reverse that. So the city center, back to the port, back to the shore, and then back to the ship. So this is how we in generally plan our days, and we suggest you do it too. Always give yourself more time to travel than you think because you don't know about service disruptions. I would say for Italy too, the ship's going to kind of scare you that they might leave you. Italy, usually on a cruise itinerary, your next port is very nearby, and it's pretty much an easy train ride to get there. So, we aren't always so concerned when we're in Italy or in the continent of Europe missing the boat, even though we don't want you to do that. You should not miss the boat. But you don't have to be as concerned about it because it's usually pretty easy to get to the next port. Again, not that we want you to do that, but we don't want that to scare you into taking an excursion that's really expensive and not what you want to do. So here is what it looks like from getting from the ship to the train station. And this is just the first part of your trip. In general, like what we were thinking when we were thinking about when we've been there is that travel time both ways can take an hour to 2 hours depending on how you hit everything. If you hit it just right, it could take you about an hour. If you hit it just wrong, like you just missed the train, it might take you closer to 2 hours. And you want to plan that as you're scheduling your day. The ship's excursions aren't going to be much better either. And more than likely, they're going to try to pack in a lot of stuff. And it's just going to be a lot of photoshops and not a lot of time to go in and explore. So keep that in mind. You're kind of going to anchor both sides of your day, 1 to 2 hours just for traveling. And you can see this is where you're going to go. This is the easiest thing to do is you take the train from Civitavecchia to Roma San Pietro. And that's going to put you right in the middle of St. Peter's Square where the main action happens. And I'll tell you again, we're going to make a second video about the attractions themselves. But that really is the easiest thing to do when you're on your own. So how you buy a train ticket, if you've seen some of our other videos, Europe has really gone to a centralized system, which makes things so easy for us travelers. This is how it looks, the app on my phone. You can go to trainline.com's website and look at times and prices for how to purchase your tickets. Now, we wouldn't suggest you buy your tickets before you go because you don't really know what train you're going to take. But I have this here to show you how often the trains run and about how long they take. So once you're on the train, it will take about an hour to actually get into Rome itself. But you can see the prices. The prices are like $6 one way. And I can guarantee that short excursion is going to be a couple of $100s to take you there. So if you're up for it, and we suggest, just do it. Just do it. You're going to be just fine. And again, save yourself a lot of money and have a lot of flexibility. Things to do in Rome. So these are the highlights. These are the things that are going to be the busiest, but oh, so much fun that you should do. The Trevi Fountain is the first picture. It's going to be wicked busy there, but you can kind of arrange it so you can get that classic shot where it's just you and the fountain. We're also here on the Spanish Steps. They've been refurbished and they're gorgeous, very famous. Make sure you eat something in Italy. Make sure in your day you've got some time to either enjoy a wonderful pastry or pizza. What a shock, right? But if you don't eat in Italy, oh, that's just a crime. That is just a crime. And then the last picture is me inside the Vatican Museum. And you can see we've been there several times because you can see me and the first mate have changed a lot over time. But those are kind of the big 4 things. We're going to make a second video to kind of show you the big 5 things and how to purchase tickets. So now that you're coming back, remember you're going to reverse all of it. You're going to find your train station again. The easiest thing to do is to truly go back to San Pietro train station and just reverse what you did. Remembered what we did is we walked in the entire city. We didn't use metros while we were in the city, that we walked up to the Colosseum and went there, and we took that Colosseum's train back to Civitavecchia. But there's all kinds of options in the city. It really depends on your comfort level using trains. And but the easiest thing to do is go back to San Pietro and take the train back. And again, you want to be sure you put in lots of time so you're not rushing it, because you just want to make it an easy time for yourself. So grazie for watching our video about how to get from the Port of Civitavecchia to Rome. If we can do anything else for you, please leave a comment and we're happy to help. Of course, and if you could really do us a favor, we are trying so hard to get to that famous 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you could just do us a huge favor and quickly click subscribe, we so would appreciate it. And we are just going to always do our best to give you accurate, helpful information so you can have a fantastic time import, save yourself some money, have a great flexible experience, and do it all over again. Until next time, ciao Bella!